Hey, welcome to 24 Chambers of Film. Today I'm reviewing Mickey 17,
And we afraid to die. This time I wasn't scared.
the new Bong Joon-ho film. So this movie has a lot of hype. I was really hyped for it because his last film, Parasite, won the Oscar. Not like that's the reason why I was hyped for it. The reason I was hyped because it's an amazing film. So Parasite was his last film, and a lot of people are anticipating Mickey 17 based off a novel called Mickey 7. So what's it about? The plot line of Mickey 17, known as an expendable, goes on a dangerous journey to colonize an ice planet. So that's the plot of the film essentially, and so let's get into it. My initial thoughts.
Truth is, you're exposed to unthinkable levels of radiation right now.
Okay, Mickey 17, my initial thoughts of this film. First of all, I liked it. I liked it quite a bit, actually. Is it as good as Parasite? Let me just get this out of the way. No, I still like Parasite more, and I still like other Bong Joon-ho films more. But Mickey 17 is a great addition to his filmography. It is a good film. It's comedic as hell. It's a satire. Definitely a good spotlight look. It has some good social commentary in there, in that satire type way. And I think it works for the most part. I had no real issues with that element. I thought the humor and even the drama, because it had some good emotional moments. Nothing that's going to, reduce you to water, but it had good moments that, you kind of felt and you were really rooting for Mickey 17, who's played by Robert Pattinson, who in my opinion is one of the best contemporary actors right now. He is killing it, in my opinion. He's someone who really kind of just broke and destroyed my perception of him after he made Twilight. Now he's really, he's one of the most diverse actors, and he gives another great performance into his filmography. You see him and you're kind of like, man, this guy's going to put in a performance that's going to work, and it's going to be memorable. He's starting to become an actor you can just rely on, like, oh, he's going to do his thing and he's going to be good. Kind of like when you see Willem Dafoe, he's one of those actors. You're like, this guy's going to kill it. So he's great lead. All the acting in this film really worked for me. Overall, like I said, it's a strong entry into his filmography. I wouldn't say it's top 3 or maybe top 5, like number 5 at best right now. My initial feeling for it, I definitely can't wait to rewatch it and own it. I'm definitely gonna buy this film. It's a really strong film. Dare I say, maybe great. I kind of need to let it settle in. I just saw it probably like 30 minutes ago or 45 minutes ago. So it's still, I'm still digesting it. It was entertaining. The pacing was great. So let's get into what worked in this movie.
The simple fact is, we're in a state of war.
What works in this movie is all the acting. Everybody's, like I said, I already mentioned Robert Pattinson's amazing in this film, but the rest of the cast is really, really, really strong. I was really impressed by the female lead, Naomi Aki. I know the only other thing I've seen her in, and I haven't even seen the movie, is Blink Twice. But she's in this film, and she's phenomenal in this movie. I think she really commands the screen. Stephen Yeow's in it, and he's plays this character named Timo. His character is kind of a scumbag, but Stephen Yeow plays him so great. Who else is in it? I swear, the kid from This Is England. If you haven't seen that movie, but the kid, he's grown up and he's in this movie. I gotta see what he goes by. I'll look him up in a bit. But also Mark Ruffalo and Toni Collette, they are killing it as well. They're very kind of over the top, but it works for the style of the film and what they're going for. Really well done. And everyone else, all the supporting actors that have smaller roles, they all did a great job in my opinion. So the acting, no issues there. The directing of Bong Joon-ho is really well done. I think they did, this movie does have a heavy amount of CGI. I mean, there's definitely, the difference is that I feel like overall, even though there's a good amount of CGI, because there is these elements of these creatures on the planet that they're trying to colonize, and those are obviously mostly all CGI, like the majority of those creatures. I think they might have a few moments where maybe you get a close up of an eye. Maybe that's all CGI too. I would say almost 100% of them. I think every part of those creatures are CGI, but the CGI is done well for the most part, and it's integrated well into all the practical effects that they use in the movie. There's definitely like the ship and all that stuff, the interior, all that stuff is practical, I would say, for the most part. And they integrated it well. You didn't feel like you were watching a green screen film, even though there is clearly elements that when they're outside on that planet, which is they're in the winter of that planet, it's very snowy and blizzardy. Some of it's definitely enhanced by digital effects. and or maybe all of it is, but it didn't look terrible. And Bong Joon-ho, I know he likes to experiment with or he likes to play with visual effects, but he's one of the better ones of integrating visual effects but still maintaining a tactile quality to it, where it's not all CGI and there's practical elements involved in it. So I really appreciated that, but it was so well done at the end of the day for the most part. His directing is always good. He always has great shot compositions. The pacing of this film, the editing was well done. I thought maybe there was like a little bit of a lull, but overall the pacing was really strong. I had no issues with the pacing. I was locked in pretty much from the opening frame. There's a use of voiceover in this film that's done, I think, really well. I know people may have issues with voiceover, and people kind of find it as an amateur way or not a sophisticated way to get into the story. I have no issue, or a cheap way. I have no issues with voiceover for the most part. I mean, there definitely is kind of bad voiceover, and there's been plenty of it, but there's been a good amount that works, and I think Mickey 17's voiceover element works very well in my opinion. So what else? I mean, I think I like certain things that, like, Steven Yeun's character works really well, like his character kind of arc or what happens to him. I really like that. What kind of wasn't expecting that. There was something that I thought that was going to happen in the film and didn't happen, but which I don't know if I'm happy it didn't happen or it did happen. So I'm kind of like neutral on that feeling, but it was a little bit unpredictable of like what you didn't feel fully confident that all these characters were going to make it at the end. So I love that you felt that kind of sense of like, I don't know, a lot of movies, especially movies that are like action kind of centric or anything like that, where there's a mission or something where danger is going to be coming. You kind of can predict who's like they showed the trailer for the new Jurassic World film. I'm pretty confident who's not going to die in that movie. And I feel like, Mickey 17, I didn't know for most of it that I'm like, who's going to die, and stuff like that. It still kept me on edge and kind of kept me guessing, I guess, and not be feeling like I kind of was expecting, So that was nice, I'm not saying that it's like super kind of like you couldn't guess it or you couldn't guess those things like, oh, they're probably not going to kill off this character or anything like that. But it's not necessarily that type of movie either. But it was good in that sense. And trying to think, the music was good. I really like that. Cinematography was strong, very white because they're in this, and very kind of muted, like grays and stuff like that, and the colors of blue, light blues in there a lot, so it had that kind of icy kind of light blue white color tone to it, and gray. So those are kind of like the main colors. So it was which I don't mind, I like it, but the film was color graded well. Sometimes that can look uninteresting, but they made it look interesting. So the production design of the ship and all that stuff was really dope, and I like the story of Mickey 17, how he got to become an expendable, how he decided. The way they handle flashbacks in this movie is actually done really fucking well. I really dug it, and it just felt natural to this flow of the story. It never felt like we're like kind of like resetting, or it was like kind of slowing down the momentum. In my opinion, it never halted the momentum whenever it went to flashbacks and stuff like that. It's told very, very well. The story, the structure of it, the story structure of it, I really dug it. All right, let's get into what didn't work.
Imagine there's an unknown virus in the air.
So the stuff that didn't totally work for me in this film, like I said, I don't know. It's kind of hard right now to kind of, I wouldn't say anything was like where I'm very passionate about, like, wow, that didn't work. Obviously I would have loved to seen instead of CGI creatures, like them to actually add some more, like, or add practical creatures better integrated into the CGI. Like Bong Joon-ho has enough, I think, pull to, he's won the Oscar. He has enough pull to like make it more tactile, the movie, make it more practical, So I wish he would have gone that route instead of just being like, oh, we're just going to do really good CGI creatures. I'm not saying it looked terrible, but you can always tell it's CGI. I think that's the flaw of CGI. It's not at that level yet where it can confuse me for a real person or a real creature. Like I said, It hasn't been. I haven't been proven wrong. To me, it's still practical effects over CGI. The more practical into it, the better. So I wish that would have been the ratio. Would have been more practical than CGI. What else? So that's probably my biggest complaint. Honestly, I wish that was more just handled differently. But I think everybody has their own personal aesthetic and stuff like that, and that's what Bong Joon-ho wants to do. Because he definitely could have gone full, more analog on this film for sure. I wish it was, it looked well. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure it was shot digitally, and it looked well. So I like that. But I'll have to look into the actual. Let's find out right now. Was it shot digitally or not? At least from what the information is right now. Okay, Arri Alexa 65 is what it's saying. Okay, so yeah, so I was right. It was shot digitally, and yeah. So I wish it would have been shot on film. I wish these filmmakers, like on the level of Bong Joon-ho, would just shoot film, honestly. And I get it. I love digital. I don't hate digital at all. But I feel like when you're at a certain level, I think it'd be a great way to just keep all the top filmmakers keeping film alive and just shooting on film, like Bong Joon-ho, like all those guys, like David Fincher. He shoots digital. I get it. It looks great. Don't get me wrong. It doesn't look bad. I don't think it looks better than film, and I feel like digital's still trying to just, copy the look of film. It doesn't really have, there's looks of digital that are clearly pure digital where you can tell it, but those don't really work. And I think overall for the majority of people don't find those as appealing as the film look. So anyways, that's really what didn't work. That's really it. I feel like the story, I was overall grabbed into it. I mean, I think, I don't know, maybe it's kind of hard right now, but I feel like it just is not as good as his previous films, in my opinion. It's not as grabbing as those films. I guess that's another thing. I guess the movie, it is, but it doesn't sink its hooks in as deep as Parasite, Memories of Murder, Mother. I think it's better than Snowpiercer, even though it's kind of even with Snowpiercer. Maybe I give it the edge a little bit to Snowpiercer because I got to give it more rewatch. I need to rewatch it more times. Mickey 17. So he's a master storyteller, Bong Joon-ho. But yeah, those are probably my biggest flaws of the film, which are very, very minor in my opinion. At the end of the day, compared to like what could have been bad. Like story wise, the movie works. I think I like the way it played out. I think there could have been used of me a little bit more surprise elements at the end. That would have been nice. But overall, like I had a great time. It was a great ride. All right, so my final rating for this movie is an 8.5 out of 10. 8.5 out of 10. Really well done. Like I said, I liked it. I think it's another great addition to his filmography. He's good at sci-fi. I kind of hope that his next film is not sci-fi. I hope he goes back to something more like Memories of Murder, more grounded, or Parasite, something like that. Or just goes to, a full horror route like The Host. I feel like his films will always have a comedic edge to it, but I hope like it's more where the drama or the seriousness tone is kind of higher than the comedic tone. So that's what I'm hoping for his next film. And I feel like Mickey 17 had a good balance for the most part, but definitely it was pretty even balance. Maybe an edge to the comedy portion because it's satire, but it didn't feel like it never turned to a parody or anything like that. It took itself serious still. So I thought that was cool. But yeah, 8.5 out of 10. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you guys are interested in watching this movie or are you guys going to watch it. If you have watched it, what do you think? What's your favorite Bong Joon-ho film? Let me know. I'm Steven from 24 Chambers of Film. Please like and subscribe. More videos to come.